Welcome in to I Remember My First Time.
Whoa.
Oh, don't be nasty, Jacob. Not that first time.
Damn it.
This is a podcast about cinematic awakenings,
Oh my god, I like the sound of that.
where we talk about the movies we love with someone who recently popped their cherry to that movie.
I like a good cherry pop.
Jacob, are all the movies we do on this podcast going to be good movies?
Fuck, I hope not.
Do you like shitty movies?
I fucking love shitty movies. Sometimes I like them even more than good movies.
Are we critics?
That's an absolutely to the fucking no.
But do we love the shit out of movies?
We love the fucking shit out of movies.
What cinematic masterpiece do we have on tap this week?
We have the 2015 Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart classic American Ultra.
I do not think this movie qualifies as classic.
Every fucking movie is a classic. Every one. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've said every movie on this podcast so far is a classic.
Jacob, if I'm going to die, I'm going to do it stoned in my bed with a smile on my face.
Me too. Let's get this podcast started.
I am noted cinephile BJ Leica.
And joined, as always, also cinephile over here, Jacob Ekus. Today we're joined in by none other than Neema Mwithiga, the person who taught me that not all Kenyans are track and field stars. In fact, they don't all play sports. Some of them just do life. And also taught this poor little white boy that she's from Kenya, not Africa. And that goes for every African from Africa. They're from their fucking country.
Sure,
Yeah.
I don't call you North American.
No, you do not. So that's who's on with us today. My beautiful, gorgeous girlfriend, Neema.
Hello. I'm excited to be here.
I'm glad we have you on again. We had you on as a guinea pig for our first episode.
Yeah,
And it was bad.
it's bad.
And not because Neema was on here.
It's
Clearly not. She's back.
It's not your fault.
No.
It's not your fault.
It was bad because we were bad. We had no idea what we were doing. It should have just been us two. But here we are. We kind of have a better handle on it.
Redemption.
Redemption for American Ultra.
America loves a good redemption story.
We just love good action. Neema, real quick, tell us your relationship with movies. What do you like about movies? How long have you been watching movies? What's your favorite kind of movie?
So, movies are kind of a recent thing for me. Before, I always just watched rom-coms, and that was about it. And then meeting Jacob, and he wouldn't watch very many with me. He was like, this is so bad. So, I had to venture out a little bit.
Because rom-coms notoriously are my least favorite kind of movie.
Yeah.
You're watching
Actually,
the wrong ones.
That's not
Yeah.
true. We talked a couple podcasts ago that it was actually sports movies are my least favorite kind.
Okay.
Followed closely
What about
by
musicals?
rom-coms. Fuck, you're right. Musicals are my least favorite. I won't watch a musical.
The musicals are either really good or really bad.
Always
There's-
really bad.
There's no in between. I've never watched a musical and been like, yeah, that was okay. Never.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've watched a musical.
So the only reason you got out of rom-coms was because of me. You had to start branching out.
Yeah. So we did action. I really enjoyed that. That's actually kind of become my favorite go-to movies right now. Specifically action comedy. So that's been fun. The one-liners, I've enjoyed those. You don't really get a lot of that, I guess, in rom-coms. Or maybe it's a different version of it.
Yeah, it's a different kind of one-liner because
Yeah.
with action movies and with romance movies too, they're trying to go over the top, but it's a different over the top.
Action movies take themselves far less serious when they
Yeah.
do one-liners.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing about action movies, though, it's how much money they spend to do just all the crazy things you see. So and that's really fun because I feel like a very realistic person. So like action movies are this kind of like wonderland.
Yeah, and kind of an escape too because you are a very realistic person. It's
Yeah.
kind of annoying because you
Yeah.
can't. She has no suspension of disbelief.
No.
But for some reason, when an action movie is shot really well, like Live Free or Die Hard, John McClane fights a fucking jet.
Yeah, the whole
A
time.
fighter jet.
I believe it, yeah.
And
Just
Neema,
mano-y-mano against
Mano
a
y
fighter
mano.
jet.
John McClane in a semi versus a fighter jet. and Neema was all about it. It's arguably her favorite Die Hard movie.
Yeah.
And there's no way it was possible. The fighter jet, because you haven't seen it, BJ, is literally weaving in and out of under overpasses.
Awesome
Scene. And she was about it. And like you said, action comedies.
Yep.
Gotta love the stupid comedy and action movies.
I'm assuming you, at the very least, somewhat enjoyed this movie then, because it's very much an action comedy.
Well, I was excited to show her this movie because she enjoyed the also 2015 classic Mr. Right. And they're written by the same writer. Max Lindes, I think is his last name. Both screenplays are written by him.
Okay.
And she loved Mr. Right. And I was like, ooh, American Ultra. Let's go.
Do you remember your first time watching American Ultra, Jacob?
I don't remember it at all. I remember seeing it. I remember everything about the movie. And I remember that I liked it. But I do not remember watching it the first time. So upon my rewatch, I think I enjoyed it slightly less than the first time. I felt like there was some kind of lull. I'm going to let Neema talk about that because that was really the only thing she didn't like about the movie. And then I'll comment on it then. But I liked it a little less, but I still had a fucking wild time. It was fun. I got the stoner comedy. Jesse Eisenberg was great. The action scenes were awesome. The blood was awesome. And I'm a huge fan of violence and blood.
There is blood spraying everywhere in this movie.
I mean, he kills someone with a motherfucking spoon. There's gonna be blood when you kill someone with a spoon. Yeah, I liked it slightly less, but not by much, because I still really liked it.
I kind of remember my first time watching it because it was one of those days I had met somebody for happy hour after work. My wife texted me and was like, hey, let's do dinner. So I had a couple drinks at happy hour, went to dinner, had a couple drinks at dinner. After dinner, she was like, let's go watch American Ultra. So we went to the movie theaters, got a drink there, thinking, okay, all right, I'm fine. I'm just going to have this one drink. It's going to be great. And my wife ordered an alcoholic milkshake. That milkshake had bourbon in it. She does not like bourbon at all. So then I had to drink that entire milkshake. So I was pretty drunk when I saw this movie in theaters. I got out. All I really remembered is that I really liked it. Watching it the second time, it's a riot. It is a fun 90 minutes to watch this movie.
Yeah. Is that the first time you ever drank in a theater?
Possibly. It's the first time I was ever like super drunk at a theater.
Okay.
Maybe not the first time I had a drink, but certainly the first time I was pretty damn drunk at a theater.
Okay. Neema, your first time. Tell us about your first time with this movie.
I didn't know what to think at first because I remember you read the Netflix description and you were kind of upset. You thought it gave it away. But I felt like I was just didn't know what I was going into. But it was a fun 90 minutes. I feel like I just gave what you wanted it to give. Like the stoner comedy was kind of fun. The action scenes were great. Pretty good movie.
Cool. Well, we've talked about our first times in this movie. Everybody knows a little bit more about Neema's movie taste. Preferences? Yeah, sure. Taste, preferences. Yeah. BJ, tell us about this movie. For those of us that haven't seen American Ultra and don't give a fuck about spoilers, all you cunts listening to this that haven't seen it, what's this movie about?
Turn it off now. We've given you time. This movie described by IMDb, a stoner who is in fact a government agent is marked as a liability and targeted for extermination. But he's too well trained and too high for them to handle.
This is one of those weird times that Netflix really knocked it out of the park, but then I showed you the IMDb one, because IMDb hardly ever does good ones, and this is... But he's too well trained and too high for them to handle?
Yeah, the too high part is what put it over the top.
It is. Without that, we would have gone with the Netflix one, but the too high was great.
American Ultra, 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
Okay, not the greatest.
43% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ugh.
And 50% on Metacritic.
It got the best on Metacritic.
It was 6.1 on IMDb, but I would say relative
I
to
think Metacritic is more critical than IMDb.
Sure.
So I'm going to say it's better. Metacritic's its best score.
I was pretty shocked at how low these were.
Yeah.
Because
is it because Kristen Stewart and Jesse Eisenberg are the stars?
When did it come out?
2015.
Were we Twilighted out at that time? And
I feel like maybe a little bit, yeah. You see her, it's just Twilight.
And you don't really see Eisenberg as an action star.
Yeah.
I mean, people may have been expecting a little more of like a Bourne Bond spy thriller, which it's not at all.
Yeah, I think the last one came out in 2012. So it was 3 years removed from the last Twilight movie.
Well, whatever.
And I remember for some reason, after The Social Network came out, people did not like Jesse Eisenberg for some reason. Did he do too good at Mark Zuckerberg? Or because I just remember that being a thing in the early 2010s was nobody liked Zuckerberg after Social Network.
Well,
not Zuckerberg, Eisenberg.
Oh, okay.
Eisenberg.
You play an asshole, people think you're an asshole?
He did do it really well.
I don't know. I can't really describe it.
Okay. I also heard a couple times that people didn't like Topher Grace in this movie. So did people just not like the characters? And then they let that sour their whole thing of the movie? And not even the characters, the actors playing the characters. I've never had a problem with that. I can watch any actor do anything.
I don't think people understood that it was a tongue-in-cheek action movie. I think they thought it was a real action movie.
So for those of our listeners that didn't understand this movie, BJ, what is tongue-in-cheek action movie?
A tongue-in-cheek action movie is an action movie, but it's also making fun of action movies without going full parody.
Now everybody knows. People probably didn't realize it was a tongue-in-cheek action movie. You're probably right.
So the people didn't like it. Critics, I've got some that didn't like it as well, despite the fact that this movie came out shortly after Roger Ebert's death. Rest in peace, Raj.
R.I.P. baby.
Fortunately, we do have this from Mark Savlov of the Austin Chronicle. This is a tremendous start to this review. What if a young Woody Allen had been cast as Stony Jeff Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and then the whole thing was rewritten as a Jason Bourne action film? Somewhere in the multiverse, that exact movie exists. But until Quantum is our bitch, we'll have to settle for American Ultra.
But until Quantum is our bitch. Heard. Jeez.
I can at least appreciate the way he wrote it. It's kind of funny.
So that's how he starts it, and this is how he ends it. Not a bad trip to the movies if you can pull yourself off that Cheeto-encrusted couch, but also not anywhere near as subversively adept as what we would hope.
Jeez. Cheeto-crusted couch.
Wow.
Like that.
Wow.
I really enjoyed that review.
Yeah, that made it amazing.
I just want young Woody Allen as Jeff Spicoli in a Bourne movie. Jacob, we know what the critics thought of this movie. How did it do in the box office?
It did pretty well. You want to hear something fucking nuts?
Always.
Its budget was only $28 million.
What?
Yeah.
I would have thought that was a $75 million movie.
At least with all the action, blow-ups, blood. I think that might be the most impressive budget we've seen make a movie on this podcast so far.
Oh, for sure.
So that's not a lot. I have no
No.
relative.
It's not a lot at all. Basic Instinct, for example, the budget for Basic Instinct was $49 million.
That's without inflation.
That's without inflation. So
Yeah.
with inflation, it's $100 million.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they almost paid Michael Douglas as much as it took to make this whole movie.
That's crazy.
Actually, adjusted to inflation, I bet they did, because I think it was $14.5 million or something Douglas got. So adjusted,
and that was the main guy character.
Yes.
So it's typically a lot easier to shoot westerns. Quigley Down Under budget was $20 million.
Wow.
Adjusted to inflation. Actually, you know what? I don't have adjusted to inflation for that one. I wasn't doing it then.
Double it, basically.
Yeah.
It was early 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah, just double it. That's basically what it was.
So it was $40 million to make Quigley. So it was still $10 million more to make Quigley than it was American Ultra.
So what made American Ultra so cheap?
I don't know how they did it.
Because it felt like it was like the explosives and all the fighting.
Oh, yeah.
And
You would have guessed they had a $75 million budget.
I mean, Kristen Stewart's coming off Twilight. There's no way
Yeah.
she was cheap.
No.
Eisenberg's coming off Social Network. There's no
Yeah.
way he was cheap.
Topher Grace was coming off that 70s show.
He was well, that was significantly after that 70s show.
Yeah, but a show like that follows you everywhere.
Sure.
So no matter what, you get a certain base salary because of that show.
Connie Britton was probably doing Friday Night Lights, and Walton Goggins was probably in the middle of Justified.
Yeah, but I don't think Walton Goggins had blew up just yet.
Walton Goggins blew up when he was Shane in The Shield, in my world.
Well, okay. I still haven't watched The Shield, but I love Walton Goggins.
I don't know if it holds up. It was the first
So
premier TV.
With how impressive the budget was at only $28 million, worldwide gross was only $27 million. So it didn't even break even. And this seems like a movie who should have easily broken even. It was in theaters for 19 weeks and couldn't break even.
I wonder what was going on around that time, because it feels like it should have done better.
I would have thought
Trump
so.
was running for office.
No, it was a year and a half before that.
I have no idea. I just know it works in multiples of 4 in 2016.
Yeah, but it's November of 2016. I'm
Yeah.
assuming this was a summer movie.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right. Critics, we know what they thought. We know what it did in the theater. Spoiler, critics didn't like it. It didn't do good in the theater.
No.
But what did we think? What's your review of this movie, Jacob?
That it was great. I enjoyed pretty much all of it. There was a little bit there that I felt like I got bored, but I got bored. This came out August 23rd, 2015. So yeah, you're right. Way beforehand. But back onto my review of the movie. Even though I got bored for a little bit in the middle of the movie, this movie's only 96 minutes. And it's a brisk 96 minutes. I wasn't bored very long, and I went back and rewatched the moments I was bored. I guess the basement scene in John Leguizamo's basement, and the car scene that when it got ran off by Walton Goggins, I guess that didn't really do it for me.
Okay.
But when I went back and I was looking over scenes, I realized that there wasn't that big of a lull that I thought it was. It was just that bit didn't do it for me. And it started off so strong with the activation scene and the spoon kill and everything. And then it just kind of teetered off in my mind for a little bit.
Yeah, and those scenes were kind of weird because they kind of did that. Those two scenes weren't really the tone of the movie. Because you had all the black light stuff, which looked really cool in the basement.
Yeah.
But it didn't really fit the tone of the rest of it. And, I liked the car scene, but it was almost like it was a horror movie there.
Yeah.
With, Goggins' just manic laugh.
I didn't even really get the horror movie vibe, but you're totally right thinking back on it. And I might like that scene more thinking about that scene that way. But, I mean, other than that one part I didn't like Topher Grace's portrayal as the bad guy. He was a little, I guess, too much for me, which typically isn't a problem for me. I'm normally okay with it being too much. For some reason, I just wasn't a fan. Other than that, everything was great. I enjoyed seeing Buster Bluth. I don't know your real name. I did do some research for this movie. I could have found out about it on IMDb, but you're Buster Bluth. Sorry.
Do you want to know it, or do you want to go through the rest of your life calling him Buster Bluth?
I mean, I still will. You can tell me, though.
It's Tony Hale, but yes, he's Buster Bluth to me.
He looks like a Tony Hale. I'm just saying. And I enjoyed Jesse Eisenberg, and I enjoyed Kristen Stewart.
Brisk is a great way to describe this movie.
Yes, very brisk. Neema, how did you feel about the movie?
I really enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I liked all the characters except the bad guy. Like, I don't know why, I just found him so whiny and just annoying.
Whiny. I believe when we watched it, you said he gave you ex-boyfriend vibes. Is that what you said?
Yeah, like I felt like the way he I guess he did his bad guy role was very like ex-boyfriend vibes. Just the way the things that would upset him or how he would react. Like there was no really like whether it was strength or fear. There was nothing like, why was he even the bad guy, kind of?
Toxic ex-boyfriend energy.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I know what's going to piss you, Connie Britton, off, so I'm going to say it.
Exactly. That was kind of annoying, but overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I liked all the fight scenes, but I did feel like they started so strong with that first scene, the first fight scene, that I was so like prepared, and then kind of like took a minute to get there again, and I was like, this is an action movie, like, let's go.
So kind of the same thing I was saying,
Yeah.
like the basement scene and the car scene
I
didn't
really
do
liked
it
the
for
car
you.
scene, though.
Did you?
Yeah, I love the car
So
scene.
it was really just the basement scene.
Yeah.
Because that scene, it felt like it should have been more climactic, because that was also the scene that we found out Kristen Stewart was a CIA agent. And then it just kind of like stopped. I mean, you had the 3 drug dealers die, and they got killed in a violent way, but for some reason it didn't hit the way that it should have.
Yeah, I feel like you were kind of on the edge of your seat, and then it just like, oh, like you really just relax, like, oh, nothing happened. Like,
he killed a guy with a kettlebell.
What remind me what a kettlebell is?
The little weight.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking annoying one that looked like a ball. I didn't see that. I was in the kitchen cooking. I saw 95% of that scene, and I missed the kettlebell kill.
Oh, that's the best part of the scene, because blood is going everywhere.
I mean, I'll rewatch that scene just for that kill, but I don't think that kill would have changed the scene for me, because I still watched. Say his name for me again, John
Leguizamo.
I saw John Leguizamo die, and it was an awesome death, but it didn't evoke what I thought his death should have evoked.
Yeah,
I very much enjoyed his character, and when he died, I just didn't care.
Yeah,
and so for some that season that scene didn't hit for me, and then that's why it felt like a lull. But you like the car scene?
I like the car scene.
Okay,
yeah.
I do too.
I need to rewatch this scene and think of the horror movie aspect. We might not ever release the Jurassic Park pod, but in that movie too, Neema's not a horror movie fan, but she liked 2 horror movie scenes from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So I actually disagree with you guys in the lull. I thought this movie was incredibly lean. I didn't think they wasted any time.
Really?
I thought everything kept moving. I thought there was plenty of action. They did enough to explain the plot where it wasn't like, wait, what the F? So I actually really liked how lean this movie was. And at the end of the day, this movie is just a blast to watch. It's 90 minutes. You can turn your brain off. You don't need to pay that close of attention to this movie, but it is fun.
Yes, and I mean it was fun. I very much enjoyed watching this movie. Well, me and Neema already went over what we didn't like about it when we talked about it, but you liked it so much you didn't even bring it up. Is there anything you didn't like about the movie?
There were a couple things. I didn't hate Topher Grace, but not believable as somebody that high up in the CIA.
Okay.
And maybe I'm projecting that 70s show character upon him.
Well, it kind of even got brought up in the Kristen Stewart scene when she first met him to us in the movie. And she was like, what's some desk jockey running a field ops mission?
Right, yeah.
So even if you were that high up, you don't have enough experience in this specific field to be in charge.
So I think they were trying to play that as a bit in kind of the tongue-in-cheekness of the movie. It just didn't work.
Yeah. And I don't know why it didn't work, whether it was Kristen Stewart, Topher Grace, or Topher Grace's portrayal. Probably his portrayal, because he came off too maniacal for a desk jockey.
Sure.
Maybe that's what it was.
Too maniacal for a desk jockey and not believable enough to have the position he did. I also, and I don't really know how to do this, but it seemed like, oh, the 2 women in the movie just couldn't help but save this guy because they're women and they're emotional and they get attached to everything. I was not a big fan of that. Now they were clearly strong, confident, competent females. It's just, oh, they can't control their emotion. They love this little puppy dog.
Yeah.
And I wish there was more of a reason on why they felt the way they did about him.
I felt like I got a reason from Connie Britt because she just felt guilty about the whole operation, her being in charge of it and it destroying people. I didn't understand Kristen Stewart.
It didn't make sense.
No, it didn't. Anything else you didn't like?
Those are the two things that stood out the most.
And I'm gonna second your thing on the females in this movie. Neema, you too?
Yeah, I didn't even really think of it, but yeah.
Now, I didn't think about this until after the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, me either. Clearly,
during the movie, it didn't bother me, and after the movie, I was like, I just the two women are like, oh, we can't let this poor guy die. Our emotions, and I'm like, yeah.
Yuck.
The movie discussion this week is the unlikely action movie star. Because this is Jesse Eisenberg's first action movie, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you consider Zombieland an action movie, but
no, I don't.
It's the first movie where he's an action star.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about, action movie star. And when you talk about the unlikely action movie star, you have to start out with the creator of it all, Bruce Willis.
Sure,
Die Hard.
Die Hard's the standard bearer for this category. That
movie changed what an action star could and can be.
Oh, was that the first kind of open?
Before Bruce Willis and Die Hard, and Bruce Willis is 5'11", 160 pounds. You had Sylvester Stallone. And I mean, he's 5'11", but he's never shot like he is. He's always ripped with muscles. He's always kicking the complete shit out of people. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger. You had Jean-Claude Van Damme. You've never seen any of his movies. That'll be exciting to show you.
I'm excited for the Bloodsport podcast.
Yeah, me too. But Jean-Claude Van Damme was a very talented martial artist. He's still here. And so before Bruce Willis and Die Hard, it was the guys that you absolutely knew were never going to lose. And then Bruce Willis came in and was like, I'm just a guy who doesn't have a fucking shoes or a goddamn gun. And it changed the game. And that's why we have American Ultra in a roundabout way. Because Jesse Eisenberg shouldn't be this badass.
Do you know when the first Die Hard movie was?
1989.
Okay.
And this movie came out in 2015.
Okay.
So,
a little bit, but...
what, 27 years? Is that what that is? 26? Yep. So, anyways, the unlikely action movie star. How much did you enjoy that, Neema? Because Die Hard's your favorite action movie, right?
Yeah, it is.
And you didn't even realize that was a thing when you watched that movie.
No, not really, because I also haven't watched any of it. What's his name? Jesse
Eisenberg.
Yeah. So
was this your first Jesse Eisenberg movie?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had no expectations or anything. So I was able to believe it and just go with it.
Just like you were with Bruce Willis and Die Hard.
Yeah.
I mean, Eisenberg before this was fast-talking, nerdy.
And I can see that, yeah.
Real fast-talking, nerdy, awkward, social kind of guy.
Manic energy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love me a good unlikely action hero. And, so kind of after Bruce Willis and Die Hard, you had Keanu Reeves in Point Break and Speed. Shout out Keanu Reeves, Pro Keanu Reeves podcast.
Hard Pro Keanu Reeves podcast. Neema's never seen Speed, so maybe she comes back on for that one.
Speed's
incredible. Incredible.
Speed's fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock's in it.
Okay.
So it's got a little rom-comminess to it as well.
Nice. Yeah. That's always a great addition.
And it's really easy to describe what the movie is. They're trapped on a bus that can't go under 60 miles an hour. Otherwise, it blows up.
Fun.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm a big fan of the unlikely action hero.
And it works in this movie. Because it just fucking does. He kills a guy with a spoon. And I can't get over that.
Yeah, just some random stoner.
And this has got to be a hard role to play because you're going from, let's face it, incompetent gas station employee stoner.
Yeah.
To the biggest badass on the planet.
Sometimes in the same moment, like with the spoon scene, he calls Kristen Stewart. He's like, babe, I just killed two guys. And she thought it was a joke. He's like, no, for real. Like, they were coming at me, and I didn't really know what to do. They had guns, and I just fucking killed them. To go from just that in the same scene was incredible, too.
That's a hard role to play, and I don't think you can play it much better than Eisenberg did in this movie.
No, I think it did great. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take Bruce Willis out of the equation. Who's your favorite unlikely action hero action star?
Man, I did not expect that question. Son of a biatch.
I'll give you a little time to think about it.
Okay.
And I think mine is mainly just because I love this movie so much, is Keanu Reeves in Point Break as former Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Utah.
God, you do love that movie.
I love that movie. Anytime someone tells me to get 2 of something, I go, Utah, give me 2. 2.
I'm gonna go with Daniel Craig before he became James Bond. Because everybody was so upset when he was going to become James Bond. He hadn't really done an action movie yet. I guess that.
We were pissed because he was blonde.
Yeah, I know. But also because, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to stick with my choice. Fuck it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Daniel Craig's a good choice. Good action star.
Do you know enough movies to have an opinion on this question?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Doesn't matter.
We're gonna have to go down to what movie was that? What did he do again?
Fair.
So.
Liam Neeson kind of works in this category because he's older.
Yeah, and before he did the first Taken movie, he hadn't really done an action movie.
No. And he's tall.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That's all you know. That's all you know of Liam Neeson.
Oh, yeah,
Liam Neeson is in what World War II movie is he in? Is he in Schindler's List?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in Schindler's List.
Really?
Liam Neeson was doing those kinds of movies.
Huh. And he's kind of tall. Like, he's not a small guy, but he's not Schwarzenegger.
No.
And he's older. That helps out in the unlikely action hero.
Yeah.
You didn't like Kevin James and Mall Cop?
She's never seen Mall Cop, EJ.
No.
I wouldn't show her Mall Cop, dude.
Why?
Do you want to know how many times I've seen the movie Mall Cop?
Is it more than one?
Of course it's more than once. Seen it 3 times.
On purpose?
Yep.
Okay.
3 times that I press play.
All right. Mall Cop Podcast.
Yeah.
Season 12.
Oh my god, that'll be so bad. It's such a bad movie.
Seth Rogen has this weird stretch where he does Green Hornet and Observe and Report. Before we move on, should we have more unexpected action stars in movies?
Yes and no. It's just hard to do.
It has to be just right.
Yeah,
I feel
it has
it's
to
hard
be
to really get it. Get all the, I don't know, just hit all the right things that you need to really make it work.
Yeah,
make it believable.
you need the good guy. You need the Bruce Willis. You need the Daniel Craig James Bond. You need the Jesse Eisenberg. But then you need the bad guy, which Jesse Eisenberg doesn't have, in my opinion. Daniel Craig has Mads Mikkelsen as the Casino Royale guy.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Willis has Alan Rickman.
Right.
Keanu Reeves in Speed has Dennis Hopper.
In Point Break, he's got Patrick Swayze.
Yeah. So you need that bad guy. You need the script. You need the director that sees it too. Because the director, Christopher Nolan saw Heath Ledger as the Joker. You have to have the director that sees that too. Because before Die Hard, Bruce Willis had only been in Moonlight, which was a stupid romance TV show.
Bruce Willis?
Yep, that's all he had done before Die Hard.
Really?
Yep. And Alan Rickman hadn't done any movies either. You need to screen, there's so many things that you need for that to happen. So it's just, I would like more of it. It's just fucking hard to do.
It is hard. You need so many things to work together. The story is probably the hardest part, as far as I'm concerned. But the actor is incredibly important too, and it's not an easy role to play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now on to BJ. It's your favorite part of the podcast. It's the Mount Rushmore of themes.
President's heads, baby.
Hell yeah.
Jacob, we'll start with you, move on to Neema, then I'll go, and we'll keep going around.
So I almost didn't want to pick this scene, but I couldn't not pick it. So it had to be my 4th. And another scene could have gone on here, like the car scene. The car scene didn't make my final four. But the final / end credit scene where he's talking to the Asian guy in China and he starts laughing. He's like, oh my God, I know Mandarin. And before he says I know Mandarin, he's looking at all these different things he's going to use as weapons, which I enjoyed because you got another shovel reference because he killed a guy in the store with a shovel. He's like, you're going to come here with no weapons? And he laughs, and you think that he's laughing about the weapons, but he's actually laughing about the fact that he knows how to speak Mandarin. And then you get a couple of real-life scenes, and then the rest of it is a recreation of the monkey gorilla anime that Mike Howell, Jesse Eisenberg's character, made for the first 3 minutes of the end credits. And it was a very violent anime, which I fucking loved.
What was this comic called?
I forget.
The monkey.
Space Chimp or something?
Something like that.
Oh, no. Can't believe I forgot the name.
My favorite part of this scene, I don't know why this stands out. Kristen Stewart and Jesse Eisenberg have a great movie kiss in that scene.
Apollo 8.
Apollo 8.
Apollo 8 is what it's called, yeah.
But the Kristen Stewart, Jesse Eisenberg kiss scene, or kiss moment in that scene is phenomenal.
Yes. So that's my number 4 scene. Wasn't anything special. I probably could have picked another scene, but after seeing the combination of the end credits and the anime, and I was like, this is fucking fun for me.
Apollo 8.
Apollo 8, baby.
I didn't even catch the Mandarin thing. I thought he was laughing because of I forget what the guy said, but...
Yeah, about him showing up with no weapons.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
So your number 4 scene.
My number 4 scene was the basement car crash scene. Does the basement and the car crash, are they the same scene, or is the car crash?
We're very loose on what a scene is on this podcast.
We are very loose, but I would say those scenes connect because right after they get out of the basement, which was a thing as they're getting out, he's poisoned by this gas. Kristen Stewart kills him, and it's like, wait, what the fuck? I'm a CIA agent, and then that scene follows directly into the car because that's what they're talking about. So those scenes are connected to me. So that's one scene.
Yeah, so honestly, my favorite part of it was the car scene and Laffer.
Yeah,
Laffer just rear-ending.
Was that his name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Laffer?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love Walton Goggins.
Which is how you know this movie is not an action movie. It's a comedy action.
Yeah.
Because the guy laughing all the time's last name is Laffer.
Yeah, and his laugh when he's doing it, I can't do it, but it's great.
So tell me what you liked about that scene.
I think my favorite thing was him and just how he played that scene, from the laughing to even when he was like shooting the gun above her head, and just the way he did it. Very like
this dude's fucking nuts.
I'm just crazy. I don't care.
Sold.
I can do anything.
Yeah, I'm sold by whatever it is you're doing.
Yep. So I loved that. I don't know why that just stood out to me.
Well, this is perfect because that's my 4th favorite scene. I didn't include the basement scene.
Okay, yeah.
But the car scene for sure.
Yeah.
And it's all Walton Goggins based.
Yeah.
He comes walking down and he's got his toothless whistle going because he had his teeth knocked out.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. His laugh, and anytime he talks with the no teeth was great.
Yeah.
And after he sets the car on fire, he's like, I got to show you something.
Yeah.
I got to show you something. It kind of had that horror element, that kind of suspense. Connie Britton shows up and saves him.
Yeah.
Just, really, really fun. Kind of a weird, different tone.
Yeah.
The reason before that with the basement scene, when you find out that Kristen Stewart knows all that stuff, you're like, okay, then when he called you to tell you that he killed 2 people with a spoon, you got to be like, oh, you've been activated.
Yeah.
Right, 100%. I didn't even think about that until just now.
Yeah.
You have to, you got to know what's happening.
Yeah, because that guy's not going to kill someone with a spoon.
Yeah. He couldn't get on a fucking plane. Well, my 3rd favorite scene is the house attack scene. So we've already discussed how much I enjoyed Buster Bluth in this movie and him getting the drone to fly to the house. I enjoyed that, even though I think Buster Bluth was better in the scene before when he was talking to Connie Britt and Topher Grace and he's like, oh my God, I could be a traitor. I thought it was better in that scene, but I enjoyed this scene because of the action. So I got Buster Bluth, and I got the frying pan kill scene when Jesse Eisenberg threw up a cast iron skillet and killed the motherfucker.
2 crazy awesome kills in this.
Yeah.
What was the other crazy awesome kill?
Connie Britton, the shotgun through the stuffed bear.
Yeah. I thought that was awesome.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's my third favorite scene. Neema?
My third favorite scene has to be the fireworks scene when he's driving up to meet them.
Oh, that's your third.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
my third.
The final showdown.
Yeah.
Fireworks finale.
Yep. I just love everything from them. It really seemed like they weren't expecting that. I mean, it was kind of crazy. So.
Oh, I laughed out loud when he was like, he's going to come in stealthily and quietly.
Yeah.
And you're not going to know he's coming. And here comes fireworks and a Hummer going straight for him.
He's like, I know he's going to use this for proposal, but this works too. Like, yeah. And then that's the scene. I guess I'll take it until where he has the hamburger patties and kills those 2 guys, because that's around the same time.
That's how far you're taking it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not ending with the hammer to the thigh, the claw hammer to the thigh kill.
Oh, I forgot about that.
There's a pretty cool moment between Goggins and Eisenberg in that scene.
Yeah.
That I kind of wish the movie would have played that up a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have added another 15 minutes to this movie and added that in there, and I would have very much enjoyed it.
It wouldn't have bothered me one bit.
No. Your third favorite scene?
My third favorite scene, I got to agree with you, Jacob. The drone house attack, whatever you call it, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
But the on the edge of your seatedness with the drone, the 2 badass kills, the frying pan kill and the huggy bear kill. Great, small, compact action scene right there.
Yeah.
2v2, good guys beat the bad guys. Fun.
Yeah. Okay. My second favorite scene is actually the fireworks finale. It was incredible. Coming in on the Hummer with the fireworks. I love fireworks. My 2 favorite holidays are July 4th and New Year's Eve. July 4th beats out New Year's Eve because it's summertime, bikinis, boats, barbecue, and fireworks, and barbecue. Whereas New Year's Eve, it's just fireworks and drinking. But still, fireworks is the main theme here. So I fucking love fireworks. And so when everything started happening, I was like, oh man, no fireworks. And then fireworks came back, and I was like, fuck yes.
You got the foreshadowing when...
I did get the fucking foreshadowing. Thank you, BJ. Yes. Because everybody knows I fucking love foreshadowing. And he still proposed to her with the fireworks. Still proposed to her at the end of the scene. Because I take the scene all the way to the end when they get tased. Once they get tased, this scene's over for me. So in this scene, you have the shovel kill, which I was so impressed with. I was like, oh my God, that's cool. And then he kills the guy with the hamburgers, which I found out just now it was 2 guys. So even more impressed by that. And then the Walton Goggins fight scene. I feel like in movies like this, you either have a fair fight or a not fair fight. And this was a very fair fight. I enjoyed that out of this scene. And I really enjoyed that conversation between them. Because this wasn't a movie that I really felt for the characters in any moment other than right then. Because Walton Goggins, even as crazy as that motherfucker's character was, he has enough self-awareness to just be like, who made you do it? Nobody. I chose myself. That'd be nice. After saying, like, they made me like you.
Yeah, that's a really good scene.
It was incredible.
I wish they could have expanded upon that relationship a little more.
That scene almost made it my number 1 scene because it was like I didn't expect to have that much feeling from this movie, and like that scene just hit. I was like, "Fuck." Your number 2 scene.
My number 2 scene is your number 3 scene.
Okay.
The house fight.
The house attack, yeah. Because I really liked the 2 scenes with the bear and then the frying pan. Yeah, the bullet bouncing off the fry pan to the
I feel like I know what your number one scene is
Uh-huh.
because of how much you enjoyed the frying pan kill.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to let you say it.
Okay.
But
I'm interested to know.
I also feel like our number one scene might share, but we'll get there.
We all three may share.
Okay. But those are the two things that really did it for you out of that scene.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't really the Buster Bluth.
He was great too.
That's a great B story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So it kind of helps like support the A story where it's like I'm interested in this and then there's this, so the whole thing just kind of worked.
Okay.
You know, we already talked plenty of this. The final scene is my number 2 scene.
Okay.
It's so good.
Yes.
It's okay. What are you going to use in a supermarket that's going to help you kill people?
Hamburger patties.
This has got to be the first kill in movie history with frozen hamburger patties.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's got to be frozen. I don't think you're killing anybody with raw hamburger patties.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Jesse Eisenberg in this movie. Not Mike Howell, baby.
Mike Howell's a stud.
Yes.
I love the end when they got tased. Hilarious.
Yeah.
When Kristen Stewart's like, can we just get a fucking minute?
2 people I'm not extremely attracted to, who I found extremely attractive at that moment with all the blood and scratches and scars. I was like, why do these 2 people look so hot right now?
They looked hot then, and they had really good chemistry.
They have great chemistry.
Yeah.
I've never seen Twilight, but I've always heard people just bash on Kristen Stewart and how she's just a cardboard box as an actor.
I didn't know that. That's
and I didn't get that feeling from this movie. I thought I would say she was probably, outside of Topher Grace, my least favorite actor portrayal, but that's because there were so many good ones.
Well, and she's almost playing like the straight man in the action movie, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
No, because her and Eisenberg have great chemistry. Because I want to say maybe like 2010 they did Adventureland together, and
that's a great movie.
It's a dramedy, I guess you would call it.
I forgot that I saw her in that movie,
and their chemistry in that movie is
wonderful.
Fire.
Yes, you haven't seen that, have you? You'll love that. It's a good dramedy.
I love
drama comedy.
I love a coming of age dramedy, and that's what this is.
We have to watch that.
We know, BJ.
Love a coming.
What's
of
that
age.
stupid one you just told me to watch?
Lady Bird.
Yeah, Lady Bird.
Yeah.
Was
We
fucking
couldn't
awful.
make it through that one.
Yeah.
Oh, Lady Bird's fantastic.
I don't not finish very many movies, and I didn't finish.
Lady Bird's fantastic.
A part of me wants to finish because of how much you think.
It's so good. It doesn't get any better if you didn't like it, but it's so good.
It doesn't get better if you didn't like I heard. So my number one favorite scene.
Oh, wait a minute. Should we all go at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
All at the same time.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Activate
scene.
Yep.
We all had a different description.
Yep.
You
But
said spoon kill?
Yep.
What did you say? First kill
kill.
scene. I said activation scene.
Yep.
And it's funny, I don't start the scene when he's activated. Like I do start when he's activated because I start it when he kills the person with the spoon. Because in my mind, at that moment, he's now been activated. He was activated earlier when Connie Britt was saying persistent chariot. Is that what she said?
Who cares?
It was chariot for sure.
Something chariot.
That's when he was activated, but I didn't count that part of the scene. It was when the spoon came out and he killed that motherfucker with the spoon. And for me, it ends with the escape out of prison or the county jail.
Yeah.
I love the call between him and Kristen Stewart. Like, oh my God, I just killed 2 people. Yada, yada, yada. The cop showing up. Him, and this isn't shown until later. I can't believe Jesse Eisenberg is this dumb in the movie, or Kristen Stewart for that matter. She's a CIA agent. Why did neither one of them put together that they were doing something to his car that could result in maybe, I don't know, a fucking bomb? But that was brought up later in the movie. Like, oh, that's what they were doing to my car.
You could see the red blinking lights.
Yeah, like clearly.
Exactly.
Poof.
And I'm a huge Walton Goggins fan. He's one of my favorite actors. I don't think I've watched near enough of his stuff. I've enjoyed everything I've ever seen him in. And I forgot he was in this movie. So I'm watching this movie, and Walton Goggins shows up and asks Neema, like, as soon as he's on the screen, I'm like, Walton Goggins is in this movie?
Yeah.
I like Walton Goggins so much, I watched The Unicorn on CBS.
You told me to watch The Unicorn, and I was like, I'm not watching a show called The Unicorn. And you said it has Walton Goggins in it, and I said, okay, I'll watch it.
We did
And
watch
Rob-
that,
and
right?
Rob
Yeah,
Corddry.
it was good.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
good. And Rob Corddry, yeah. So what did I miss anything, Nema? Is there anything you liked about that scene that I didn't?
The shooting wrist.
Oh,
the
yes.
sheriff.
Shooting
Remember
the
that?
shooting the
Yeah.
sheriff through the wrist.
And he tried. He was like, "I got this."
Oh.
Nope.
And I just remembered, I knew this was your favorite scene because of how much you enjoyed Mike Howell catching the grenade. Because he caught it, looked at it like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was in the kitchen doing something, and Nema like leaned off the back of her seat, and she looked at me. She's like, "What the fuck?"
I
And then looked
loving
right back to
every
the
single
TV,
moment of
and
it.
then she watched him throw it back at her. And then I enjoyed the grenade catch scene, but I thoroughly enjoyed him beating the shit out of her as she was still in the chair. I thought that was so funny.
I was still, I think, stuck on that grenade scene. I was like, yes. Like, yes.
I was intrigued with that female bad guy.
I was too.
Yeah.
And they never expand. I was like,
No,
I was so
yeah.
intrigued by
Yeah.
her. She looked like such a badass.
I would have enjoyed more of her, but at the end of the day, it was between her and Walton Goggins.
So, like, I
Sorry.
was happy he won, yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get a better movie without Walton Goggins. You're going to get a worse movie.
So I really enjoyed the activation scene. I thought that was really cool. It just, you're like, oh shit, now I gotta sit up. Like I've been kind of leaning back watching this. I gotta sit up. Shit's about to get real.
So far, this movie hasn't been anything.
Yeah.
And then she shows up in that gas station or the Dollar General, and you're like, okay, wait, hold on. Let's get started.
Something about chariots. I don't care. He's about to go fucking ape shit. You don't, when the guy doesn't see the gun, you don't tell him the gun's there.
That's what I was,
when
like, he was smart. Like, what's going on?
That's also the first time we see Walton Goggins without his teeth and just that bloody fucking smile. Walton Goggins, I know Matt Reeves has already hired someone to play the Joker, but I'd be down for Walton Goggins Joker for the Batman.
He's essentially playing the Joker in this movie.
Yes, he basically is. He would just have, if he played the Joker, he would have more range with his talent. Even though he's so talented, he killed it in this movie because he had little to no screen time.
Very little. But when he was on there, I damn sure noticed him.
Yes. So we all had the same number one scene.
Only the second time on this podcast.
What was the other time? Oh, Basic
you know.
Instinct. Yeah, it was Basic Instinct. The leg crossing. Sharon Stone's vagina. Show us your dick, Michael Douglas. Fucking cocksucker.
This is an anti-Michael Douglas podcast, apparently.
Yeah, you're really gonna have to redeem him with a good movie. That's the only Michael Douglas movie I've ever seen, so it might not be hard.
Michael Douglas and Walton Goggins are in Ant-Man 2.
Whoa, okay. I like Paul Rudd. Sure, we can try Ant-Man 2, BJ.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
I honestly never thought you would bring up Ant-Man 2 in any conversation we would ever have.
I just did.
I'm aware. So thanks for that.
Character breakdown time. We got the 4 presidents out the way. Now let's talk about the characters.
So you have your blats, which are BJ's wild-ass theories.
Sure.
I don't have those, but I am going to say, before we get started on this character breakdown, that Walton Goggins is the most important character in this movie.
No, he's not. This is a Jesse Eisenberg movie. It's all about Eisenberg.
While I don't disagree with that, I don't think this movie's as good without Walton Goggins as the true bad guy.
I just don't know who else is playing the Jesse Eisenberg role.
Okay.
And it's such a hard role to go from, I have so much anxiety I can't fly on a plane, to I just killed 2 guys with a spoon.
And he
That's
just
true.
did it so well.
And then reverted right back to that I can't get on a plane guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Goggins is great. You will almost never hear me say anything bad about Walton Goggins.
So I'm going to agree with you, but also Walton Goggins is the second most important character in this movie. Because this movie, even with Eisenberg, if anybody else played that character, I don't think this movie would have been as good. That one scene, again, like that was the only scene that evoked any kind of like, I really care about this character. Because I didn't care about Mike Howell. I didn't care about Kristen Stewart. And it didn't matter. I didn't need to. This movie was way fun enough that I didn't need to care about them. I didn't need to.
I didn't.
And up until that scene when Walton Goggins did that, I didn't think that I wanted that out of this movie. And then when it happened, I was like, this movie hits on another level. And that's why I'm saying he's that important. It went from, yeah, this is a good action movie to, wow.
And I see what you're saying. So if you're talking about from like an efficiency standpoint, like minutes of or emotional impact per minute, Goggins kills it because he's barely in the movie. He essentially has one real line. And that one line is like, oh man, I feel for this guy. So in that sense, yes, in a emotions per minute, he dominates because I elicit very little emotion from anybody else. I feel for Buster Bluth for a little bit, dealing with the decision. Am I a traitor? Am I doing the right thing? Et cetera, et cetera. But in terms of pure emotion, that one Goggins line or two Goggins lines, whatever it is, are so good.
I agree with BJ. I feel like yeah, he was good. But Jesse, I can't remember his last name.
Eisenberg.
So we killed Walton Goggins' character, Jesse Eisenberg. Y'all argued that point, I think, enough. It's a Jesse Eisenberg movie. Without Jesse Eisenberg, this movie isn't great.
And in that first kill scene, I didn't bring up that I probably should have. When he does that, you're like, oh my God, that's extremely convincing. Because it's like, okay, how are they going to pull off Eisenberg being a super soldier?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, they did it.
Like
they really did.
The minute it happens where he figures out like he can do something, you're like, oh my God, you really can. Like this is really happening.
Anything to add to Jesse Eisenberg's character?
I really enjoyed the stoner aspect of his character. I thought he played a really good stoner. I mean, we opened the pod with the ultimate stoner line. If I'm going to die, I'm going to do it stoned in my bed with a smile on my face.
That might have been my favorite line of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why we opened the podcast with it.
Yeah. I loved his stoner character because Jesse Eisenberg is a great actor.
Oh, yes.
He's phenomenal.
I don't think that can be argued.
No. Yeah. And he did a great job at that. And I don't think I just don't think we touched on that yet. And that's the only thing I have to say about that.
Do you like the fact that it's a realistic stoner?
Yes.
He's got a job. He might burn his eggs when he's cooking them, but he cooks.
Yeah. He might be going nowhere. And when people are smoking that much weed and doing nothing, they're not going a whole lot of places. He's literally working to smoke. He pays all his bills. He does everything he needs to do to just get stoned at home and do his bullshit job at work.
Excellent.
Yeah.
He's content with it.
Kristen Stewart.
I enjoyed Kristen Stewart in this movie.
I did too.
Me too. I was convinced I liked them both together too. I think they worked well.
They have good chemistry.
Yeah.
For some reason, like I said,
something about it. Yeah.
They've got great chemistry in this movie, and I liked her.
I really like how pissed she got with Topher Grace too. Like I liked a lot of things about her character. I mean, how the house attack scene with the drone, we didn't even talk about this. Kristen Stewart tries to break out, and Topher Grace, the little pussy he is in this movie, hides behind one of the army guys.
That was great.
Yeah.
I audibly laughed at that part too.
Me too. And Kristen Stewart made that scene believable because it was like, all right, this bitch is a CIA agent.
Yeah.
Hey, if we want to get Kristen Stewart in more action movies, I'm not the person to say no. I thought she was pretty convincing in her fight scenes as well.
I did too.
She proved she can do it.
And this movie clearly demonstrated that Robert Pattinson was a bad kisser.
Yeah, but that's what turned her gay.
We did talk about that in the Batman.
Hold on. Like, is this something I've missed? What is...
I brought up in the Batman podcast that how bad Robert Pattinson is at kissing, part of the reason Kristen Stewart's gay now.
Was this known somewhere?
No. It's just we're being funny.
I should have brought this up earlier. She identifies as queer. Honest mistake. I didn't know it when we mentioned it in the Batman podcast. Sorry if we used gay instead of queer.
I'm totally ignorant. I didn't realize there was a difference. I thought they were one and the same. So I will brush up on my ignorance.
I don't know. I'm just trying.
Whatever.
I'm just trying not to get canceled.
Yeah. We don't want to get canceled. We're just having a good time. We're some idiots that like talking about movies. So fuck you guys. It was funny to say Robert Pattinson's part of the problem because he couldn't kiss Zoe Kravitz either. Okay, you cunts.
Eisenberg kisses Kristen Stewart in this movie, though.
And she kisses back, and it's great.
That's
all I'm fucking saying after all that shit. So let's talk about Topher Grace. None of us like him.
In this movie.
Yes.
I like Topher Grace.
Yes. I like Topher Grace too, but in this movie, Walton Goggins was the bad guy. Topher Grace wasn't.
And I feel like he was on the screen so much. I was like, oh my God, come on. Like, someone else, like Laugher, like more of him.
He did have a lot of screen time.
Well, I like I said, I think that was part of the tongue-in-cheek pseudo-satire of this movie, was that he wasn't good enough to have that role.
Yeah.
It didn't land. And like, I don't really think it's Topher Grace's fault. I think they thought of a character idea, and
he apparently played it well enough because none of us liked him.
Yeah.
I don't think his character fit in the movie. They should have written it a bit different.
Sure.
Topher Grace is talented. We all like Topher Grace. We liked him enough that none of us liked his character because he was just ugh. But he was ugh in a good way. Like he wasn't the guy from that 70s show, is all I'm saying.
Right. Eric Foreman.
Yeah. Eric Foreman. Thank you.
I've been trying to remember that ever
since
we talked about that.
Oh, Red Foreman is such a great character. Red and Kitty are the best.
BJ, you're a huge fucking fan of Connie Britton in this movie.
I am a huge fan of Connie Britton, period.
You haven't shut up about her.
I love Connie Britton.
I don't know if I've seen other movies with her. I didn't even look her up.
I feel like
Neema's saying really. If Neema has seen a movie with Connie Britton, I fucking have to.
Oh, Connie Britton has done rom-coms for sure.
Yeah, but she's done so many.
You were a big fan of the Nashville TV show?
Yeah.
Where she essentially plays Reba McEntire?
Didn't watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
We have to watch it.
Are we watching it?
Yeah.
Nashville,
I think it's happening for you.
We have to finish Ozark first, otherwise we ain't watching shit.
How much have you watched it?
Oh, I just watch bits and pieces of my wife watching.
Okay.
It's a perfect movie for me to come in, watch 10 minutes, and
what
leave.
happened when I missed? Okay, yeah.
All right, what's the hot bearded guy doing now? Yeah. Okay, all right.
But yeah, you loved Connie Britton in this movie.
I did. I thought she was strong enough without being over the top. I thought it was a great supporting character.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Even in a movie like this where she's getting the shit kicked out of her, I'm like, you still look good, girl.
She does it well. Yeah.
I understand why you're such a fan, because you're a big Friday Night Lights fan, and she's in she's in 76 episodes of that show.
Yeah. She's whatever the coach's wife is. I don't even remember the
whatever.
coach's
Again,
name.
this is the only movie I've seen her in. So. The other characters, Bill Pullman.
What? The shadowy CIA head. I don't know.
Oh.
The one that shows up for the last 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Bill Pullman's way too good to only put him in your movie for 2 minutes. What was that?
Yeah. What Bill Pullman movies have I... Oh, Independence Day. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
and Spaceballs. Why did I forget that?
Are you missing Twister?
Yeah, I'm missing Twister too. Of course I am. Nima's never seen Twister. That'll be so much fun. I can't show her Spaceballs until she watches Star Wars. And with someone who has no suspension of disbelief, I have no idea when we're getting to Star Wars.
It's gonna take a minute.
Oh, she's gonna hate the first Star Wars and not gonna want to watch the second. But the second one is so good.
It's one of the greatest movies ever.
Or something?
There's so many Star Wars. We're talking about the original 3. With Darth Vader. Darth Vader is one of the greatest villains of all time.
Oh, we're gonna have to have the greatest villains conversation at some point.
Okay. Say his name for me again, BJ.
John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo.
Rose? Was that his character's name? The drug dealer.
Yes. Rose, yes. Yeah. I loved him. He's like, hey, you want to do some blow and go to the strip club? No. You want to drop some acid and go to the strip club? No, Rose. It's 10:30 in the morning.
Which, hey, that's a realistic stoner. Yes, I'm a stoner. I'm not dropping acid and going to the strip club at 10:30 in the morning.
Yep. You asked me at 7 o'clock at night if I want to drop some acid and go to the strip club. Maybe. Definitely not 10:30 in the morning. I'm just trying to smoke a joint, go work my shift, and go home.
Yep.
My favorite part of the podcast, it gives me a semi anytime I think about it.
You are trivia man.
I'm the trivia guy. So every movie I have trivia. My first bit of trivia about this movie was easily my favorite. And BJ, that says a lot because me and you both love the top secret MK Ultra operation that the U.S. government did.
It's in my Google News search bar.
Yeah. But my favorite bit of trivia for this movie was as a promotional stunt, Lionsgate, which, by the way, Lionsgate, underrated movie studio. One of my favorites. They come out with incredible movies. They gave away or delivered free marijuana at the San Diego Comic-Con to anyone with a medical marijuana card.
Shout out Lionsgate.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. There you go. That's how you fucking do it. Neema, up until when we watched this movie, didn't know anything about MK Ultra. Had to pause the movie, had to kind of explain it to her.
It's hard to explain to people.
It's hard to explain. I have a quick 15, 20 second, this is MK Ultra. So MK Ultra was a combination of the U.S. government knowledge of mind control and the German knowledge of mind control.
Oh, what year?
I'll get there.
Okay.
MK stands for a English word and a German word. M for mind, K for the German word control, which is controle. That's not how you say it, but it's Kontrolle. I love the German language because everything sounds so fucking aggressive.
I got very nervous when you went to the K because I really thought you were going to say mind conf.
No.
Okay.
Not mind conf. No. So it's better for control. And I wish I looked up how to say control in German. Doesn't matter. But anyways, I didn't know this about MK Ultra. BJ, I don't know if you know this, but it specifically targeted people with multiple personality disorders. It wasn't just anybody. It was people that had multiple personality disorders. And it was an operation to find a way how to trigger those personalities on command.
Really?
And they used stuff like acid and other psychedelics and other shit.
I knew that. And that's because the next dog I get, its name is going to be MK Ultra.
Yep. So you can trigger its personalities.
Of course. Mind controller.
Which I didn't know, which makes this movie even more cool because Jesse Eisenberg being the kind of crazy guy and Walton Goggins clearly. The project began in 1953.
Oh, so German scientists, 1953. World War II ended in 1945.
Oh.
Can I make a guess?
It began after the U.S. government brought Nazi scientists to the U.S. under Operation Paperclip.
There we go.
Yep. 1953. Is that before the Korean War or during it?
During, right?
Yeah.
It might be a little bit before.
Whatever.
It's around that time. It's around the beginning of the Korean War.
Yeah. MK Ultra started in 1953. Just for some frame of reference for our history people out there, Emmett Till hadn't been lynched yet. That happened.
Is that your go-to?
That's my go-to.
Is Emmett Till being lynched?
Emmett Till being lynched. I'm a history.
He whistled at a white woman.
I'm a history major, bro. Can't help it. With a focus on this shit. So yeah, Emmett Till was lynched in 55. MK Ultra started in 53. That's how recent this shit is.
You've gone way over your 20 seconds.
Yeah. Sorry. I have. It officially ended in 1973, but it continued, quote unquote, to this day under the quote term monarch.
How come I've never heard of this? Like,
they don't want you to know that the CIA was giving random people acid to see how it could work for interrogations. Why would you learn that in school?
Why would we even believe anyone can do anything about anything?
I know this is the country we live in.
Doing shit.
Do you know how much money we spent on MK Ultra?
A lot.
Yeah,
we should look it up. It's a lot.
It was 20 years of giving people acid.
Wow.
And other things.
Yeah.
Uma Thurman was originally cast as Connie Britt's character, but it never materialized, and Sharon Stone replaced her.
That is big for this podcast.
That is huge for this podcast. Sharon Stone was going to be in this movie, but due to scheduling issues, she wasn't able to.
What the hell was Sharon Stone doing in 2015?
I have no idea, but she should have been in this fucking movie. In the film Mr. Right, which I talked about earlier, one of Neema's favorite action movies, there's a wedding reception for a couple named Mike and Phoebe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like when they do that.
This next bit of trivia, specifically for you, BJ, because I like when they do that shit too. And I know how much of a comic book fan you are. When Jesse Eisenberg gets his powers for the first time, he's seen wearing a red checkered shirt. This is the same shirt that Tom Welling, who played Clark Kent in Superman, wears in the TV show Smallville. Jesse Eisenberg would later play Superman's arch enemy Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and Justice League. Coincidentally, Henry Cavill, who played Superman, wears the same red checkered shirt in Man of Steel and Justice League. Like, do people do this shit on purpose? Or do people really sit there and figure that shit out?
No, stoners wear red flannel shirts.
Henry Cavill's wearing a red flannel shirt, though?
He's from Kansas. People from Kansas and stoners are the same thing.
Okay. Neema, I did this one for you because you enjoyed this so much when we were watching the movie. Max Goods is originally a Walmart. As soon as Max Goods came up, she was like, don't you love how they are just doing Walmart?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
In the American Ultra script, writer Max Landis tweeted that he had to change it, so he named it after himself.
Respect.
Yeah, that's all my trivia. Wasn't a whole lot of trivia in this movie.
So, is the Ultra a continuing CIA thing that I didn't know about?
Oh,
or...
Ultra! I didn't get to that because we focused so much on the German word for control. Ultra means the highest level of security.
Okay, but is there like a continuing Ultra program in the CIA?
I guess so.
Or are they just making fun of MK Ultra?
Both.
Okay.
I think it's both because according to the trivia, and I didn't look anywhere else but IMDb.
You shouldn't.
I shouldn't. No. This isn't that kind of podcast.
This isn't a peer-reviewed paper.
No, we're talking about popping someone's cherry. Okay. Jesus Christ. IMDb was highest level of security, so I think it's both.
Okay.
To answer your question. Final thoughts on the movie, just in general.
Just a fun movie. If you want 90 minutes, kick back, relax. There's no, this bad guy becomes the good guy, or this good guy becomes none of that. The good guys are the good guys, the bad guys are the bad guys. There's blood, violence, death, fun. That's this movie.
Neema, anything to add?
I think it's a good 90 minutes of action, stoner comedy, and a romance story. That sums it up.
And as much as I hate romance movies, I do love a good romance story in a movie.
Well, they didn't spend much time on it.
But even if they do, like, I'll tear up. Like, I hate romance movies. I tear up in any movie. Even though I hate romance movies, I'll tear up in it. But when it's any other kind of movie, action, comedy, drama, if there's some kind of romance, I fucking like it. Because, Shakespeare knew it. Romance fucking kills. It's fucking good. So yeah, I like that's what I'm saying. I love the romance aspect of this movie. Kristen Stewart killed it.
She did great.
And I can't get over Walton Goggins. He was my favorite thing over. No, y'all convinced me. Jesse Eisenberg is my favorite thing. Coming in on a close second, Walton Goggins, and then a close third was the love story.
Okay.
You liking this movie the most? What do you rate this movie?
So to me, this is a meter stick for an 8 movie. It's fun. You're entertained the whole time. Is it great? No. Is it fun? Hell yeah.
And like we repeatedly say in this podcast, not every 8 is created equal.
No.
This is an 8 comedy action movie.
Yep. This is not a 8 on the Oscar scale.
Correct. Okay. So good 8 measuring stick from my man BJ. Baby?
I give it a 7.
7.
Yeah.
So we do points in this podcast. You want to give it like a 7 point anything, or is it just a straight up 7?
Straight
Just
7.0.
a straight 7. Just 7.0, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was good. It gave what it gave. It's a good movie. Yeah. 7.
I'm gonna second my girlfriend. It's a 7.
7's a good movie.
Yeah. 7's a great movie. I enjoy a lot of 5s. I enjoy a ton of 6s. I enjoy pretty much every 7 I've ever watched.
Too, but...
I don't know if I've ever enjoyed a 1. I don't think I've ever seen a 1. Well, maybe Lovebird.
Ladybird.
Ladybird. Everybody fucking knows what I'm saying.
Both of us gave Batman and Robin a 4. Like
Wow,
ones are
okay.
hard for us.
Yes. Should they remake this movie? 100%.
Of course.
Anytime you have someone that you think can be an underrated action movie star, remake this movie. Make fun of the MK Ultra thing the U.S. government did.
Yeah, because he was busted for acid.
Yeah.
And that's how he got in the program. And I was, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're MK Ultraing this thing.
Make fun of it as much as you want to, as many times as you want to. I don't care. I'll watch it anytime. Make sure it's rated R. If you make this movie a PG-13 movie, I'm gonna be upset.
Oh, it's not going to be good.
No. Neema, would you
Agree.
remake this movie?
I agree. Yeah.
Until the reviews in the box office, I wondered why there wasn't a sequel. After the reviews in the box office, I'm like, I see why.
Yeah.
But if they want to do a sequel, I'll watch it.
I think now they can do it, get some new actors, and just make it a really good movie.
Is there anything that we do to make this movie better?
If you replace Topher Grace with someone who's either super over the top or someone a little funnier,
Yeah.
I don't know if you could do, say, a Rob Riggle in this, a former actual military guy.
No,
He might make it too goofy. It's a little more tongue-in-cheek than that.
You know who would be good in this role? Vincent D'Onofrio.
Shout out Law and Order. We always
Criminal
shout out
Intent.
Law and Order.
Yeah. You've never seen anything with him in it, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
All
Yep.
right.
It just goes above my head.
That's the only recast I would do in this movie.
Me too.
It's Topher Grace.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't thinking about it, but you mentioned Uma Thurman as in Connie Britton's role.
No, what I mentioned was Sharon Stone.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So please try to keep up.
My bad.
So we talk about what the critics say.
Oh, hold on. We still
Whoa.
have one more thing to do.
Oh my God, what?
We got to do our movie impersonations.
Oh my God, I skipped right over that, didn't I, BJ?
It's fine.
It doesn't matter when we do it, just before we get to the user reviews.
Because we're doing Manic Walton Goggins as Laugher, a former arsonist who can't stop laughing. Don't take this movie too fucking serious.
And
there's a character called Laugher who can't stop laughing. His last name is Laugher, not his nickname.
Anyways, BJ, you are awful at these impersonations. So, as always, you start us, my good sir.
He took my teeth, but it's okay. I got him back. Oh, there was some like Bobby Boucher in there or something.
It doesn't
That
matter.
was weird.
That was your best one you've done so far. And I don't think it's even close. That was pretty good. Nima's upset she has to follow that one.
I really am. I'm
Normally
like, I
you're
don't
so
wanna-
bad.
Now mine's gonna be really bad, but it's okay.
It's okay.
So
These are supposed to be bad.
As long as I try, it's okay. Oh, I fucking hate you, man.
I hate you too, man.
I hate you. Watch this.
Nima, you are so bad at this.
I'm so bad.
Wow.
I told you, like,
Wow.
I'm so bad.
Wow.
I really
Wow.
tried. I
You
gave
did
it
try.
my all.
You did yes, you gave it your all.
This is not my forte.
No.
That's
can
all
do
we ask
other
is people to
things.
give it all.
Yeah, and you did, and it was awesome to watch it. It was
When you started off, I was like, was Walton Goggins Jamaican in this movie?
Oh, I knew it was gonna be bad, but it's okay. You were like, oh.
I was like, wow, okay. That's how you're going with this. Okay, here I go. Walton Goggins. I'm about to do something bad. Oh, I'm about to do something bad. Oh, watch this. Watch this. I'm about to do something bad. Come here. I hate you. I hate you too. I hate you. I'm gonna watch you burn, boy. I'm gonna watch you burn.
He did have an unusual amount of sling blade in that accent.
Did I?
No. Goggins and you both.
Okay.
There was a good amount of Sling Blade in there.
Nema's never seen Sling Blade.
Ooh.
What is that?
Just another movie? It's hard to explain Sling Blade to you because you don't know Billy Bob Thornton. So it's hard to appreciate what Sling Blade is. It's incredible, is what it is.
I guess
it's fucking incredible.
I just have to watch. I just want to say though, like, I shouldn't have to do an impersonation of it.
No, not again. No.
Like,
the reason you're so
both of
bad,
y'all, like,
the reason
that
you're so
was
bad is the
horrible.
reason you need to do it again. So if you sign up again, you're coming with another impersonation.
I'm
know.
just not good at that stuff.
I love that you were worse than BJ.
Oh yeah, I expected it. I knew it, but I tried.
How was mine?
Pretty good.
Really good, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yours was great. I loved it. It's your best one yet.
Yeah.
I just kind of do my own take on these.
I know you do. It was great. So now I'm allowed to now go to the user reviews of this movie, right?
You are, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
I want to know what the people thought of this.
The people thought a lot of things, and by a lot of things, I picked 2 good reviews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, because they were both just so great. The first good review is 10 out of 10, and it's titled "The Best Cheesiest Film Ever."
I like it.
Agreed.
Yep.
The
Maybe
review,
not the best, but it's really good.
yes, the review. I was today years old when I realized I needed a sequel to this film, and that's it.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah. No, we've already brought that up. I believe it was you.
Yeah.
I want a sequel to this.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not going to make money, but just spend $30 million. I'll watch it.
Whatever. The next one, I don't know if this was better because I love a good 1-sentence summary.
A good 1-sentence summary is underrated.
It's hard to beat. But this next one is called A Fun Action Rom-Com. I do not understand the poor reviews. Don't take this movie so seriously. The movie doesn't. So, as the audience, why would we? This is a fun action flick for the stoner and non-stoner alike. If you usually have a stick in your bum when you watch movies, I advise you to either remove it, grab your favorite snack, relax and enjoy, or skip this movie altogether. Regardless, this movie is a good time.
Yeah. I want to party with that guy.
Yes. If you have a stick in your bum. That's as good as the movie for Stripes. As the review for Stripes, when it was just like, hey man, if you're a Bible thumper, don't watch this movie.
Yeah. And you know what? If you got a stick up your bum, remove it. Period. Not just to watch this movie. Just in general. Don't go around life with a stick in your ass.
Life already sucks. Remove that stick.
Yes.
You'll enjoy it so much more. My bad review is titled So Bad.
How many O's?
I think like 12.
Oh, jeez.
1 out of 5 stars. This was honestly the worst movie I have ever seen. I didn't turn it off because I thought it has to get better. Can it really be this bad? But no, it kept getting worse and worse. It made the new Fantastic Four look like Citizen Kane.
The new Fantastic Four is bad.
Garbage.
Oh.
Garbage. And Citizen Kane is an all-time great.
Oh, okay.
So it kept getting worse and worse. It made the new Fantastic Four look like Citizen Kane. The only saving grace is that this will now join Triple X State of the Union, starring Ice Cube as my go-to white elephant Christmas gift.
Wow.
I'd gladly take this as a white elephant Christmas gift.
Please give this to me.
I may trade for it.
In fact, give this to me over Triple X State of the Union.
Oh, Triple X State of the Union is bad.
It's garbage. And let me be honest, Triple X is garbage. But I'm a Vin Diesel fan, and I've watched that movie 6 times.
Triple X is fun.
Triple X is fucking fun. So yeah, should people watch this movie? Neema, as a virgin of this movie, should people watch it?
I think it's not a must-see, but if you're in the mood for an action, romance, with some stoner vibes movie, like, this is the perfect movie to do that, but it's fun. Like,
So it's not a must-see in every situation,
no.
but if you're just wanting to turn your mind off and enjoy a good realistic action flick
Yeah,
with some comedic elements.
right. This is the perfect movie for that.
Yeah, I'm not recommending this movie to my mom.
No. But I am recommending this movie to my brother,
Of course.
who does not smoke weed. He's in the U.S. military, but would thoroughly enjoy this.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone enjoys a good stoner comedy.
Right.
And then you throw in a lot of blood.
Guy getting smashed with a kettlebell.
Spoon killing.
Frozen fucking hamburgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a good first time.
It was.
It was. I enjoyed all 94 minutes of it.
I enjoyed myself. It was great.
Yeah.
Better than I thought it could be.
So you came.
Completely.
Completely. You know if the female's coming, it's a good first time. I remember my first time. BJ?
Join us next week for The Other Guys.
Mark Wahlberg. Will Ferrell.
Yeah! Michael Keaton.